All right. So this is a little bit of my interpretation about this game. There is no certain answer to this game's ending. It's very open ended, so everybody has their own interpretation and their own understanding. I did some thorough research about it. There's still some like missing points in a lot of these interpretation, but one thing is clear, and I'll explain that. So number zero, to understand everything, you have to understand Ariane grew up as a kid in a rural planet, and her mom was kind of like concerned, so she sent Ariane to like a city planet so that she can like have a nice career or whatever. So she moved to her aunt's house, and I think that house, like that room, is the room we see when we crawl into the tunnel. It's a little bit of a stress to Ariane because it's extremely like small and everything. And the Yellow King is a like a what do you call that? Like a thing of a Cthulhu culture. The Yellow King. Anyways, so she didn't fit in well. Ariane didn't fit in well. You can like read from there. So she decided. And between like in the school when they were growing up, that's when they met Isa and like everybody there. Anyways, they grew up and applied for a space travel mission because she wanted to escape from everything because she is a bioresonance like a person, like a superpower person who can like read other people's mind. I mean, it makes sense because like when you can read other people's mind, you kind of get disgusted about everything and you just try to like stay by yourself. I think that kind of thing happened to her. She's like too talented that she can't like live with other people's disgusting like mind or something. So also, the Yellow King book, she got it from Isa's bookstore. Like, so Isa is not the mom or whatever. Isa is a friend of her who is like a twin or something. And their father runs a bookstore. In that bookstore, there is a banned book called The Yellow King. And I think Ariane like kind of stole it and bring it back to her house or something like that. So that's why you can see like that book in her room when you see when you crawl into the room. Well, there's a lot to explain, so hear me out. So number one, Elster 512 made a promise to kill Ariane. So that's why it keeps says like wake up, or I mean it keeps says like remember our promise. Now why? It's because Ariane and Elster 512 went on a Penrose 512 mission, which is a mission to find a extraterrestrial, like a like a planet across the space, like a resource planet or a habitable planet or whatever planet. It's like a space exploration mission, right? But they're not supposed to live forever. Ariane was a human, so Ariane can only like survive a certain time. Also, the replica is a machine, so they also cannot survive forever. So what happened was, after 3,000 cycles, all the oxygen making machine or radiation system, they all like collapsed. So Ariane started to like lose hair and like start to slowly die because of the radiation poisoning in the ship, in the Penrose 512. But she somehow managed to survive until like 5400 cycle. Anyways, so Ariane was like, she was too like tired of all this. She couldn't even sleep. She just wanted to like end this thing. So she asked Elster 512, "Hey, please kill me like if I'm going insane or whatever. It's too painful for me." But Elster couldn't do it too, and Elster 512 also died in the Penrose like ship. So the main thing, like there's a lot of ambiguous symbolism and everything here, but there's one thing I can tell you, like one thing that is completely true about this game is Ariane wants to die to an Elster unit that remembers the promise. So there's another concept you have to know. That is, if you remember, so I played this game called Soma, like really back then, like at the start of this channel. The game is about how do we determine ourselves. So let me just draw something. So this is the original me with all my life memory in here, like, you know, memory. And this is like a machine version, a replication of me after like 100 years. But the game Soma is about a dude who goes to like a hospital to just do like a simple x-ray, but in that timeline, like doing a brain scan is as simple as doing an x-ray. So they did like a brain scan, and that brain scanned like, you know, information was stored inside a computer here. And then after like a few million years later, this machine accidentally sits on the machine that does the brain scan, and this memory got injected to this machine, making it think that it is this person. So what does it mean? It means there's nothing special about the original thing. Whatever determines us, you know, whatever determines us is the memory itself. So what does that mean? It means no matter who you are below the body, below the memory, it doesn't really matter. As long as the memory is completely intact and completely pure. Like if you just move the whole memory from this brain to another brain and then make it believe, hey, that's your memory, then this whoever got injected the memory is that person. It's very philosophically hard to understand because humans have a tendency to think like it's almost like a barrier that we cannot go through. This barrier is we will never think us as long as we don't have the body together. But philosophically, as long as you just have the full memory of someone, that is basically that person. It doesn't matter what body it is in. But humans have a tendency to think, hey, you know, I am me because I have this arm and this face and everything. Well, philosophically, it doesn't really matter because as long as all of my memory is inside something else, and if that thing believes that is me, then basically that is Sunwu too. You know, like, for example, I studied artificial intelligence and reinforcement learning unit. Let's say this is model 1. And this model acts like, if there's a fire here, this model goes right from here. This is the memory, like it learned. And we make another model, like a model 2, which has no memory, but we copy and paste the parameters from here and move it to model 2. And this model 2 has exactly the same memory and the learning procedure from model 1 because it copied pasted the memory and the parameters. And now it'll act the same in front of the fire. It will go right. So what does that mean? In like this like psychological level, if you just copy and paste all the memory, that is that person. It's exactly the same. All right. So you have to understand this concept to go forward from here. So Ariane wants to die. So Ariane also died too. She doesn't exist, but the blob of flesh is Ariane's like will, like mind. So basically, bioresonance, like you know, superpower people can, like, you know, tinker the reality and move their like other people's mind to somewhere else or whatever like that. Like, you know, they can like inject memory or take it out or something like that. Ariane died, but before she died, she moved her like will or something. She injected her will to that blob, I think. This is a I think, so this might not be true, okay? So the blob and everything has this will, like it has some sort of a wish, this one last wish, and that is it wants Ariane to die to Elster, because that was Ariane's one last wish, one last strong wish. So number 4, this game is influenced by Cthulhu culture, cosmic horror stuff. Oh shit. Number 5, this game is not time linear. It's mixed here and there and like a lot. So that's why if you are a avid film major or if you are a film director, it'll be easy for you, because normal people like me are not used to like looking at, like, if this is a linear timeline, like, Ariane born, blah blah blah, military, blah blah blah, Penrose program, blah blah blah, die at the Oort cloud. We're not sure what happened in between. They might the ship might have returned to Leng, or maybe the Cthulhu figure or some god form was between the Oort cloud, and then Ariane, the bioresonance ability super person, met the super god being and then like suddenly did something or whatever. I think they came back because in the note of like what they find in the Serpensky, they say the Elster unit's original neural pattern was destroyed at Veneta, so they had to use the shut down Elster 512, like shut down unit in Penrose program. Penrose program is the ship that Ariane and Elster was in, and they say they had to use the shut down Elster unit in the Penrose program in Leng. So what does that mean? It means every Elster unit we see has the memory of them, like, dancing and everything. Or I think they have this memory of they have to keep the promise or something like that. Anyways, so I think they came back to Leng, in front of the place. We're not sure yet. It's extremely ambiguous. And then, like, Ariane has this will, so every Elster unit always comes back to Leng and, like, tries to do something. Or it could be just Ariane's reality twisting ability, just creating new Elster units, or whatever like that. We don't know anything yet. There might be a DLC or something in the future. But anyways, and then something happens, blah blah blah. These, like, timelines are not linear in the game. What I'm saying is, sometimes you see, like, this part at the start of the game. Like, let's say this is the timeline, how you play the game. Sometimes you see this here, you see that there, and you see this here. And you have to, like, mix and match, like, completely correctly, like the puzzle inside your brain. That's why this game is so hard to understand for, like, normal beings like us. But film majors are used to doing that, because that's their, like, trick or their skill to make it more ambiguous, to, like, kind of like portray a certain idea or something. That's a leave. Anyways, so number 6, there's 3 ending. Number 1 is leave, number 2 is memory, which I got, and number 3 is the fake ending is, like, in the middle. Number 4 is promise. So what is it? Let me show you all the other endings. So this is like so let me show you the leave first. So the leave goes like this. I'll show you all this first, and then I'll explain why the player's playstyle matters. So the leave ending, she tries to open the door, but well, the thing is, the leave ending, she comes back from the ship. So all of this is the same, like this. And then she comes back up. And then it says, I had to leave. In the end, I had to leave you behind. But it's too much. What's too much? Killing Ariane was too much for this version, this Elster unit. Every Elster unit is all different. They're all like, you know, they're all Elster unit, Elster unit, Elster unit. They're all different. It's not one Elster unit. And that's why you see like this pile of Elster units below when Adler pushed her through the elevator. Forgive me. And she's like, you know, moaning because she couldn't keep the promise Ariane said because she doesn't want to kill her. So you see here, this Elster unit does not have the white plate. So I think this one is like a lot of the Elster units just lying around the, you know, the planet. And then that's it. That's how it ends. She just lies here. She just dies like that. And the next ending is the memory. This is what I think. So she comes back. So this is the ending I saw. Remember our promise? But she said I came back for you, but this Ariane or Alina says I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember. What does that mean? I'll explain it later. Just remember everything up, okay? And Elster says it's okay. And she just lies down like that and dies. Okay? And this is the promise ending, the final true ending. Remember our promise. From here, it's mostly the same, but what they do is they keep the promise here. Ariane says, Elster. Elster says, I can't do it. Ariane says, you have to do it. It's time for this to end. This means this whole game. It's like, you know, the whole game where Adler is stuck in this, like, you know, twisted reality, like a loop system. Elsters keep coming in to keep the promise, and the bioresonance, like blob, is keep like injecting memory to everything. When this killing thing happens, then it all ends, because that's the wish of this blob, which is Ariane. So, you know, Elster kills Ariane, and then she says, I'm sorry, and like that. And then the time ends here. And that's it. That is like the true ending of this game. And Elster gives a little kiss, and she also dies. Like that. Okay, so let me explain now. So, secret ending. Oh, wait. So, 3 ending is leave, and memory, and fake ending, and well, that there's like a few other endings, like the secret ending. But anyways, let me explain. Leave is when the Elster unit is too afraid to kill Ariane, so she decides to leave. Now, this happens when the player plays the game like too fast or doesn't kill anything, which shows like you're a coward. So the player's like playstyle or mindset is portrayed to Elster's ending. If you play too cowardly, or if you play too fast, like you understand everything, then it goes to the leave ending. If you like, you know, plays something like me or something normally, then it goes to the memory ending. And well, the fake ending is basically like a process here, and the promise ending, you have to like kind of play like you know all the plot now, and you have to kill everything precisely and like do all that. And I think there's also something about the mom's note where it says, remember to leave a space in your school bag so next time it doesn't get wet. Like there's this line, and it's like red, so maybe that's also one of the trigger point. Like for example, we have 6 item slots. What if we never use this one slot and only use 5 slots and finish the game? It might open another ending. Anyways, there were a lot of Elster units who tried to keep the promise, but most of them ended up at leave. Few ended up at memory. And then there was the fake ending, which got the parts from the memory ending, and then they went to the promise. It goes like that. Because after the fake ending, when their arms like broke down, they go in to the ship, gets the part from the Elster unit that did the memory ending, and then it comes back to either it comes back to the promise ending or the memory ending, but I think it's the promise ending. Now the secret ending is just one of the Elster unit between like leave or memory or whatever in here, and it's a sidetrack. It's basically, I told you that this whole thing is a twisted reality from the Ariane's bioresonance power, right? Elster wants to live happily ever after with Ariane, and Elster creates another like twisted reality, like a dream in a dream. She runs away from reality that she died and Ariane died. So she like uses this like, you know, secret power or something to create like her own like dream or something. I think that's what the secret ending is. It's the secret ending is about love between Elster and Ariane. Anyways, I don't really know much about the secret ending. So number 8, the person who's playing Elster, the person who is playing is Elster's memory itself. Now what does that mean? That's why the way you play affects the endings. To get promise ending, you have to play like you know what's where and play for a long time. Meaning Elster's memory is full. Player knows all the story now. So like the concept I told you, when you have the full memory of something, then that is that person itself. Like that's it. No, even though like it's in a different body or it's in a different setup, if you have all the memory, that is that person. You have to understand this concept. And the person like me who was playing the game is the memory of Elster. Like, it's a pretty cool trick about this game, because the more you play this game, the more you play the whole like, you know, game like more and more, the more you understand the game, that which means Elster understanding it, because it shows from the way the player plays the game, which affects the ending. So that's that there. So your understanding is Elster's memory. Each Elster was made from Elster 512 who died in Penrose 512 ship. That is written in one of the notes. But each replica can share their memory. So each replica unit can learn something and accumulate memory as more Elsters do this journey, eventually getting the memory by killing Falke, who has the memory of Elster. By the way, Elster is a replica of Ariane. Falke contacted the blob of flesh in the mine and got Elster's memory injected. So there is a note saying, I don't know where Falke starts and Elster ends, or Elster starts or Falke ends. It's like that. So in the mine, they found something. So Falke went down. She's like the boss of this Serpensky system. She went down to find out what that is. And then when she went there, this blob injected the memory of Elster when they had like this dance watch movies together. Like the core memory of Elster's happy time with Ariane was injected to Falke in the Sierpinski's Falke. And then she got sick because now like she doesn't understand if she is Falke or if she's Elster. Like this memory injection was too strong that she was losing her boundary of who she was. And also I think like this twisted reality created her to become a little bit like, a zombie or something. But I think she was too strong to become a zombie or something. Whatever. So that's why at the end, Elster has to kill Falke, who has the core memory of Elster 512 unit. And at the end, let me show you this. I think it's this one. At the end, so here, when it kills it, Falke says like, now we can be one. Falke wanted to be Elster because she was missing other Elster memory, and Elster in the game was missing the core memory, which is in Falke. So this is Falke's memory, the dancing memory and everything. So here it says, now we are one. This is the important thing. Now we are one. Alright. So after Elster killing Falke, she obtains the core memory of that is inside Falke. So now she is like complete, which means she became Elster 512. So finally, the game is about fulfilling Ariane's wish to die to Elster 512, who has all the memory, meaning the true Elster 512. But Ariane is gone, so Ariane also twists reality to create a new Ariane from Alina and inject Ariane herself's memory to make a copy of herself, so she can die to the player Elster, who remembers, understand the plot in the player's perspective. So what does that mean? Ariane died. That's like for sure. She may have came back to Leng inside a cryopod, but the thing is, Ariane has died, but she has this will that she wants to die to Elster 512. Well, don't believe me too much. Maybe she didn't die or whatever. But the game where they show... Let me just show you another thing. Was it this one? Okay. It's... Hold on, there's something I want to show you. I think it's around here. Okay, here. So these come closer. All these is a bioresonance, like telepathy from Ariane, like the blob or Ariane. I've been waiting. Alina saw. So this blob is trying to make like this one last show. She became like a god or something, and she wants to see her wish come true, but not to herself, but to like a made version of them. She is making Alina into Ariane, and she's making all these replica Elster units to Elster 512. You remember why Alina is because she has this memory of, oh, Alina looks so much like me. So that's why she picked Alina. You see all these, this thing? It's like a time procedure. So this is Alina becomes a little bit like that. She cuts her hair, you see, and then she becomes like this. Her hair goes completely white, like that and like that. So it shows a progress of how Alina turns to Ariane. Because in the game you can read all these notes saying Alina's diary saying she's getting like all these memories that she never lived before of like seeing Elster unit, or trying to find Elster unit, something like that. It's basically Ariane's memory going inside Alina, so that Alina turns into Ariane herself, so that Ariane can die to Elster. And then see this is the process of how Elster becomes the Elster 512. It's pretty like cosmic horror, because it's not just normal horror. It's process of like creating them again by injecting memory. So some part shows this. For example, where was it? Like, what's this? Oh, there's a lot to tell you, by the way. Just wait with me. The part where it says, "Who are you?" And all these painting is the painting that Ariane drew, I think. And the reason why this Ariane asks, "Who are you?" is because it wants to check if this one is the Elster 512, the one who has the complete memory. Because it wants to die to the Elster 512 itself, which has the complete memory. Okay, so Alina becomes like a copy of Ariane. Well, there's no meaning of copy. It basically becomes Ariane by getting all the memory by injecting. Some Elster unit gets all the memory, like learns all the memory, gets all the memory, and gets the memory from Falke, which got the core memory by contacting the blob. You can read that from the note, and then becomes Elster 512, and then they make a final show where Elster 512 kills Ariane. Like that. Alright, so this is the core plot of this game. The core plot is Ariane is a bioresonance superpower person. She has this final will that she wants to die to Elster 512, but they both couldn't make that. Elster 512 just died, by putting her in the cryopod. She couldn't kill her herself. She wasn't strong enough. So time passed. I think the ship came back to Lang, and then people found out this Elster 512 unit. They created Elster units from that dead Elster unit because the Venetta's neural pattern storage room has burned or something, so the original's gone. And then all these Elster units kind of have this memory of Elster 512, which had this wonderful journey with Ariane in space. So that's why they start to come back to Lang to fulfill their promise, because they have this faint feeling that they have to do this. And Alina turns to Ariane because Ariane, which is, the mastermind or something, injects the memory to Alina and turns Alina to Ariane to make up the final show here, the final promise that they couldn't do. Or basically it's like Ariane's love to Elster is letting she's making Elster 512 to fulfill her last wish, her last promise, something like that. Anyways, now there's another hypothesis from me is, I think Isa is the original Gestalt to Elster, because, well, in the game you can pretty much tell that Falke's original form is Ariane. Like the like portrait of them showing is exactly the same. So and falke is like a bioresonance replica unit, and Ariane was a bioresonance superhuman, so that makes sense. So we're pretty sure that falke's original form is Ariane. But now, who was Elster's original form? Now I think that is Isa, because when Elster falls down here, so let me show you this. So she comes here, so she sees Adler. Adler push Elster down. She's trying to find Alina. Now that makes sense, because it's actually not, it's not Alina. She's trying to find Ariane here, but they look pretty much similar. Adler pushes Elster here, and then this memory starts here. Wait, where's the memory? Oh, here. So Isa dreams about this memory where this part. This is Ariane. Ariane gets bullied by other students, and then she cries. But Isa couldn't save her. Erika saved her. So Isa has this feeling that she's not better. She's not good as Erika, her sister. But the thing is, I think the game has enough like money or time to make other portraits if they could. But look at this. If I draw like a line here, cut it out, put together, it's exactly the same. Like, you can tell from the eye shape here. Their eye shapes are like exactly the same shape. And another thing is, you see this hairline here? It's cut here and it's cut here. If you like, make this hairline come down like that, you see this hairline here and this hairline here, cut that there, and then cut this there, cut this there, cut. It becomes basically Elster. Now, the hair color and the eye color doesn't matter, because Ariane's and Falke's hair color and eye color is kind of like different too. But the face shape and like the portrait design of Ariane and Falke is the same. And I think that goes, it's the same to Isa and Elster. So the reason why Elster couldn't kill Ariane in the Penrose program, like at the end, like in the original form, is because I think, Elster unit gets their mind like, unstable when they like watch movies, watch art, and make friendship together, right? So Elster's original memory came back up, which is Isa's memory, which is her like memory that she couldn't save Ariane. So she has this like feeling of sorry, like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't save you, kind of like feeling. So Elster unit wasn't able to kill Ariane because she was so sorry that she couldn't save her when she was young. So she like Elster's like having this feeling that she's sorry, but how can Elster kill Ariane when she feels sorry to her, right? So Elster unit couldn't do it, but Ariane wants it. I think that's something like that. So that's why when Elster unit fell down the elevator, that's why they start to see this memory, like the original memory, which is Isa's memory. Then why does Isa, why can you see Isa in the game? Well, that could be like a twisted reality, like a form of Isa that the blob created or something. Or maybe it could be the real Isa who came back. nobody knows. To be honest, this game is extremely complicated, and it's open. It's a game that you have to make your own interpretations. And there might be a DLC like chapter 4, 5, 6. We don't know yet. But yeah, is there anything else? So the reason why Adler doesn't want Elster to go through and says you'll destroy everything, well, that's because Adler is the only one who understands this whole thing is like a twisted reality, is like a loop system, like time doesn't flow and everything. So Adler understands and exploits this whole system, and he tries to live in that loop world forever. But if Elster kills Ariane with a full memory and like all that, like kills Alina who turned into Ariane, then the blob becomes happy because that's it, my dream come true, my promise come true. So the whole dream, the whole loop, the whole twisted reality goes away, which means Adler's forever living reality goes away. So that's why Adler tries to stop Elster, because Adler, this coward dude, just wants to live in this weird world forever. That's why. So that's why Adler became like the zombie king or something. He's not the final boss. He's just a coward who tries to live in this twisted world. All right, so anything else? So yeah, it's a really good game, but I feel like the storyline and everything has been conducted too ambiguously or too hard, and it gave too much room for the users to learn about. You know how Evangelion, when people watch it like the first time, they say, "Oh, it's like a cool robot, like fighting anime," but actually, it's like a psychodrama. It's more like a psychology show where everything was an imaginative show, or like a set that who's that the main dude creates because the conflict between him and his dad. Like, it's like Evangelion. The more you look at it, the more you learn, the more you get from it. It's so deep, and it's so like layered, and that's why it gives you so much confusion. And the more you learn about it, the more you that's why you get that thing. But there's no certain like fixed answer here, so that's why you have to put all this like mental memory puzzles together. It's like this whole game is like a puzzle game, kind of puzzle game itself. But at the end, you have to stitch the true interpretation by yourself. It's like another puzzle game here. All right. Anyways, this understanding this whole game's interpretation was another level of a game. And still, there's a lot of plot holes here and there because, it's so complicated. But I think there might be some DLC. Who knows? Some DLC to fit in the plot holes. But yeah, I'll wrap it up here, and I think I'll play some more simple games. But yeah, thank you for watching.